Andrew. Ah! I'm looking, I'll find it.
The It was one of Celia's 2 distributors. Turned out it was the key to a 60-year mystery. Hi there, and welcome back to the workshop. This time we delve into the mysterious and magical world of the Magneto, conduct open part surgery, and meet Magneto expert Adam. So, each and every one of these cars has got a Magneto. And the cool thing about Magnetos is that once you get the engine started, it'll just keep running and it'll just keep making sparks. We'd arranged for Celia's Magneto to be refurbished, but first we had to take it off the car.
It has no idea where it is, it'll spark anywhere. And so we have to tell it. You can either look to begin with, or you put your fingers on, either way is the same. What I'm going to do is turn the engine around until one valve closes, which is this one, and this one starts to open at the same time. And so this will go first. So if that moves now, let's say that one goes first now, I've got a long way to turn the engine.
Right. Okay.
Alright, so what we're looking for is this spring to extend like it is and go upward, and this one to start to go down.
Okay.
The point those are doing the same thing is the point we need to stop.
Exhaust is opening, it's going
Fantastic.
down.
In that case, we are now on the right path.
Okay, exhaust is closing.
Okay.
That's it.
And these two should now be loose, which they are. So what that's telling us is that piston number 1 is at top dead centre. Piston number 6 is on the beginning of its intake stroke, and piston number 1 is on its power stroke. So the spark occurs now.
Right, yeah.
So I just need you to have it in the right place, so that the removal of that is timed to the engine. Yeah, that's my advance retard. Those are my limits. Does that come off? And look. So when that lifts, what moves? In. Yes. What's the chances? That's the end, won't move. They both moved.
Oh, you're on.
So, what size is it?
Which one? This one?
This here.
Oh,
But I think we might have to do it with a socket because there's so little space.
Trying to break out with sockets.
Yeah, so we've got a very small one, and that's too damn big.
So I've got an 8mm.
Oh, hold call up. Okay, it's moving. Looking for us, looks like our friends at Lagonda made that. It looks, I think that might be brass. Come on, Mr. Lagonda.
Obviously they only employed people with kind of rubber wrists.
Ah, don't matter, it's done. Based on that, bottom left is cylinder 1.
Yep.
Sticky label, left.
I had a good aim, but I left.
The man who does the mag might then think that's bloody fantastic what the engineering that went into making this insulated block.
Well, it was nothing if not ingenious.
No, it's going to be brilliant. Oh, I see. So, because ordinarily the high voltage spark is only distributed by one item, but on this it's distributed by 2. It has 2 reference flags, one on the inside run and one on the outside run. Yeah, so if you can imagine, one contacts with that one, yeah, and the other one contacts with this one. All of that, these 3 bits and that magneto need to go in a bag or a little box or something.
Right.
And so, with our newly rescued Magneto safely tucked in a cardboard box, we set off to Chesterfield to meet Adam from Armoto, who specialises in the repair of vintage Magnetos.
It's a 3/4 engine speed Magneto, which there's only really that one, which is a MN6 and 6 and a BTH C6 that use the 3/4 engine speed. So they use it on the Lagonda, and a few Alvises add a 3/4 engine speed magneto, but most of them don't. Most of them are engine speed. On the Scintilla one, and it's got a 4-pole magnet in it, which is different to on the BTH version. They have a 4-pole rotor, but just 2 standard magnets either side. So the construction on there is pretty much the same for 4-pole, 2-pole. But on the Scintilla, it's the actual magnet that rotates inside it, and that is a 4-pole rotor on it.
The rotating magnet was a matter of some pride to Scintilla. As their instruction manual points out, this was based on an entirely new principle of design and construction, apparently offering the finest ignition system engineering science had ever produced.
These are the 2 main examples of 2 types of magnetos that we do generally, and this is similar. This is similar to the one we've done for you, which is a 3/4 engine speed Scintilla. This one's a 4-cylinder 2-pole one, but much of the construction is basically the same. You've got a coil, your set of points, your magnet, which is inside here and is rotating, and basically this is what we call a rotating magnet type magneto, in which the magnet spins and pulses through this core here, through the coil, and then basically when the magnet's in line, the point's open, and the field, the current that's been flowing through the coil, the field collapses, and that produces a high voltage that comes out of the rotor there, and then is distributed via this gear to the distributor.
Oh, okay, and that's what those little metal points are?
Yeah, so basically each time it has a cam under there which has a lobe on it, and that, as you see when the point's open there, that's when it produces a spark, and the rotor should be in line with the distributor at that point. So that's a rotating magnet type magneto, which is basically what you've got here. The other type of magneto that you have is a rotating coil type magneto, similar to this one, which is a GA4 or GJ4 in this case. And this one, as you can see, this is a magnet here, and the coil rotates within it. So this is a coil that we've done. It's not for this particular model, but a coil. And in this case, whereas you can see on that one the coil's stationary, in this one the coil rotates within the magnetic field.
Oh, okay.
And then the points on the back basically do the same as the points you've got there. You've got a cam on the outside there. As the points rotate, they hit the cam, the points open, and when they open, that is in line with the distributor.
Oh wow, look at that!
That's the safety gap, but basically that's to protect the coil. So if you were running it and a HT lead dropped off or something, to stop it building up to a high voltage and not being able to get rid of the energy, it jumps there, and that that's to protect the coil basically. Explain to you what we've done on it.
Yeah, understood.
Which is basically we've replaced the bearings in it, which are either end. Put up your points there. You can see they're platinum points that you've got in this magneto.
Wow.
There's we'll rewind the coil and put a new condenser in, which you can't really see because it's underneath there. And the distributor, I noticed your father had made some replacement parts.
Yes.
The reason for that was when we ran it up on test, we found that it was the voltage was leaking out of one of the distributors. So you were finding it was firing on about 3 or 4 cylinders, but some of them were missing, and it was jumping on the inside of here. So what I've done is cut back the cracks out of it, vacuumed it, warmed it up, vacuumed up to get the air out, and then infused resin back into it to seal it up, and ran it up. I left it on for couple of hours running, and it's been fine. So,
Oh, wonderful.
theoretically, they should be fine now. Well, at the time when it first came in, obviously the coil was rotten and it didn't produce a spark. So at the time we couldn't test the distributor to see whether it was working. But we noticed your father had made these parts, so we presume these are obviously replacement distributor parts. So we presume that there was an issue with but until we built it, we couldn't really tell. Once it was done, we found that it was missing on a few cylinders.
Yeah.
Due to cracks in the distributor, and it was arc fuel, hence presumably the reason that these were made in the first place.
And this is the moment when I realised what must have happened. My dad had bought the car as a young man and he could only afford it because it was a non-runner. He told me apparently that the guy he'd got it from had told him that the engine had it, and that apparently it was something to do with the timing. Pound to a penny, that timing problem came from the Magneto, and particularly the cracked distributor. Turns out that he and a friend had simply made a replacement part. Genius!